This game right here,
Yeah.
I think is vital. This is the game, in my opinion, this is the game that I think could potentially have the most impact on the Big 12. If Colorado loses this game, they're done. If Colorado wins this game and does it swimmingly, and I think there's a chance that Colorado scores 40 points in this game. I think there's a real chance that Colorado goes to the college football playoff, Jake, and I think there is a real chance that you are going to see Deion Sanders. This Florida State thing, by the way, it's interesting. I was talking to people in college football this week about the Big 12 college football Super League chat. And Deion Sanders to Florida State came up on a regular basis this week amongst the people I was talking to. I do think if Deion goes to the college football playoff or even gets close to it, I think they're going to fire Mike Norvell in Tallahassee, and I think they're going to call Deion. It was very interesting that when you look at the respect across the board now that Deion Sanders is getting for what he has already built in Colorado, taking a team that didn't compete in 99% of its games, now being in the conversation for Coach of the Year and a college football playoff spot. Jake, I think this is nothing short of a pretty miraculous turnaround in Boulder.
Yeah, I mean, I think Deion deserves a ton of credit. I think he brings the right energy. I think, he brings this sense of like accountability inside the program. And people criticized him, people hated on him, people don't like his style, whatever. He's too in your face with it, whatever, man. He does it the way he wants to do it. And, there's no denying now when you look at their season, you're talking about a 6-2 ball club who has, a Texas Tech team this week that they are more than capable of beating. And you look at the rest of their schedule, like let's say Utah loses against BYU. Now you're going to go to Utah and play them after they've just lost the Holy War and have nothing to play for. I like your chances in that game. Like you look at the rest of the schedule, it's winnable. And to me, yeah, I think, Deion going to Florida State, I think is a prime opportunity for him. See what I did there? Prime. It's
prime. Deion Sanders prime.
Yeah.
Coach prime opportunity.
Yeah, right. It all kind of works together. But the point is that I just think that Deion has shown he can coach and build a program, and folks, like Florida State are sitting here.
Has he been vindicated? And I want to get to the Florida State thing, but has Deion Sanders been vindicated from all of the, it's Louis, you're probably not going to be here, my guys are coming, get the hell out of it. Like, has he been vindicated?
Yeah,
from that?
I think that people don't say, people can't say, well, you don't win anything and you just think you're better than everyone. I mean, you can't say that anymore. And he's got good wins on his schedule. Obviously, his whole mission is to win as many games as possible, which I think at Colorado hasn't been the mission. Colorado's been a program that has just been like, yeah, we'll show up and we're going to lose every week. And
we show up.
Nobody cares. And we're going to put one running back in the league every 10 years. And that's pretty much it. And I think that's where you say, yes, if Deion were to win out and they were to be a 10-2 ball club and they were to maybe get a look at a college football playoff opportunity, I don't know. It's just easy to say if you're Florida State or anybody else, hey, well, if he had our kind of funding and our kind of resources and, he was in our location, how much better would he be? And that's what I think is hard for Colorado to keep him. Other people are going to be coming after him all day.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. He is, I think, one of the things that's not talked about enough is the development of Shedeur and Travis Hunter and Seton at left tackle and the running backs. Like you're looking at a defensive scheme that is not very different. It's just the talent is much better on defense.
Right.
The portal really helped them on the defensive line. The linebackers are well coached. I think Shiloh being healthy enough to play makes a big difference on the back end of that defense. They've developed their talent. And I think that has to be talked about with Deion Sanders because remember the conversations we had this year? They can't recruit. Deion doesn't recruit. Portal only. Well, it turns out he does recruit. And it turns out he does put guys in the league.
Yeah.
And it turns out he does develop talent.
Yeah.
So now on to the Florida State part of this.
Yeah.
I think if Deion goes and he swoops up on Texas Tech, which he should, you look at that Texas Tech defense, I think they're going to have a real difficult time containing the Colorado offense. And I don't think that Texas Tech's offense is good enough to overcome Texas Tech's defense.
Mm-hmm.
Would it surprise anybody if you saw like an Abilene style shootout in Lubbock with Colorado and Texas Tech? It would not surprise me.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I mean, that's the kind of game I expect out of this. I expect frankly, I expect 40 out of Colorado in this game, 100%. I think, they're an explosive offense. I think that, that the problem is it's not just that your defense, isn't great. It's that your, situational play calling also is lackluster. And, when it's like what we talked about with the Bears earlier in the week, right? Where you're in pass defense in a run situation. Like, that's just bad. Like, I see that out of Texas Tech on a pretty regular basis defensively.
I would agree with that.
And
worst defense, statistically speaking, in the Big 12 is Texas Tech.
So would anyone be surprised if, Shedeur had, 400 yards, 3-4 touchdowns, they ran for one, like, maybe you get a defensive turnover. Like, I mean, that's what we're talking about here. And I think that's why the number's, I believe, 62.5. Like you're talking about a 40-24, 40-27 kind of game.
But again, if I said to you, put a number in your head, where do you think Colorado's defense ranks in the Big 12? If you have Iowa State number 1 at 15.5 points and Texas Tech dead last at 34.5 points.
I'd put a middle of the pack somewhere, like maybe 9th or 10th.
Yeah, you're completely wrong. How about 6th at 22 points a game? It's shocking. It for what we saw to his defense last year, to what you alluded to earlier, to being the statistically sixth best defense in the Big 12 in this league with all these quarterbacks and all this offense. Ouch! Goddamn.
What are their passing numbers like as a defense? Like
as a defense, Colorado is 6th against the pass.
Yeah.
They're giving up 209 yards a game, 6 interceptions, allowing 62% completion.
Okay. So
those are they're not spectacular numbers.
No, but that's really solid.
They're very solid.
I mean, I asked that because obviously for Tech, Baron Morton and company, obviously that's going to be a big deal.
They're third in passing offense in this league. Yeah. Texas Tech is getting 282 yards a game. The problem is, who's number 2? Colorado, getting 323 yards of passing offense a game.
Yeah.
Against a defense that gives up 307 a game. Yeah. It's not again, I love, you guys know this. I think Baron Morton is one of the best quarterbacks in this league. I think that Taj Brooks is the best running back in this league. You can't outscore the Texas Tech defense if you're the Texas Tech offense.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. And I think when you look, what is the best predictor of a future outcome? Past actions.
Yes.
And you look at Texas Tech this year and even last year, defensively, they are prone to blowing their feet off. Bad play calling, not enough talent, guys in the wrong spot, lack of communication.
Well, and the only difference this year is now we've come to expect it. Last year it was shocking. This year we're like, yeah, this is kind of who this team is. Like, and just to put this into perspective about like what's on the line as far as the Big 12 is concerned. I mean, you've got BYU at 5-0 in conference, obviously. Iowa State at 4-1, Colorado at 4-1. So the question really is, hey, Iowa State's at ranked 17th in the country. Colorado's 20th in the country. Colorado wins and Iowa State loses. Iowa State season's over, and Colorado is now in the driver's seat to go to the Big 12 championship game. That's what's on the line. And I hate where Iowa State's headed here. But when I look at the Big 12 this week, I mean, that's what we're talking about.
That was a huge. I don't think I can think of an adjective, big enough to describe the disappointment in Ames last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't even. Rocco Becht, that was, the whole thing across, it's a shocking loss. It is a shocking loss, especially when you don't have BYU on your schedule. And that's why I say this Colorado game, we're no longer in the territory of fire Joey McGuire. That's not happening.
No.
But you have got to find a way, because this is a team that I think, and I'm probably too much of a Texas Tech believer, but I think Texas Tech should be the flagship bearer of this conference when it comes to football.
Mm-hmm.
I think that highly of them. Their basketball program in Lubbock is on the rise. There's nobody questions that after last year, certainly. But you look at this football program, and Joey, this is one of those games where if Joey McGuire can find a way to get his Raiders to win, think about it from that perspective, especially to all my friends in Lubbock. What would it mean to you for Texas Tech to upset Deion in Colorado at Jones AT&T?
Yeah.
Oh my good. Can you imagine? There are not enough tortillas in the country to celebrate that win. I mean, that would be unbelievable. Yeah. What that would mean. And having said that, I can't find a way that happens, because I just don't believe in the schematics that this defense at Tech runs. I don't believe you're not all of a sudden going to have your dudes who are not nearly as fast. And this is one of the things that I've said about Tech all year. And I know that Tech fan doesn't agree with me. You're not fast enough on defense to compete in this league. Not right now, not with this incarnation of Big 12 offense.
Certainly.
That to me, I think the league will change dramatically next year. And I think it's one of the reasons that people believe so fervently that if Deion's going to leave Colorado, it'll be right now. And I'm not sold that he is, but it's undeniable that he's going to lose Shedeur and Travis to the NFL.
Well, look at how he, how the Colorado thing came together. I mean, you had a situation where, he was winning at Jackson State, and then, they come off of that. I believe it was an undefeated season, I believe. And then you get upgraded, you get promoted essentially. And, obviously Shedeur comes with you, and you're able to get Travis Hunter, and you're able to kind of put something together. And everyone criticized him because in his first year, they weren't very good.
But when did he get wait. Let's make this very clear to the people who say Deion Sanders can't recruit.
Mm-hmm.
When did he get Travis Hunter? Was Travis Hunter in the portal? No. He got Travis Hunter in high school. Travis Hunter, lest we forget, and every Colorado fan I'm sure knows this. Do you guys understand that when Deion Sanders recruited Travis Hunter to Jackson State, he was singularly the best high school football player in the country? In the entire country. And he went to Deion in Jackson State. Deion can't recruit. My point is, and I hear it all the time in the comment section on Twitter. I hear it all the time. Like I did Denver Sports Radio a couple of weeks ago talking about Colorado. And everybody said there when we, because they had me on specifically to talk about what we said about Florida State. And again, I will say, if you think that Deion Sanders can't rebuild the roster at Florida State, have you been paying attention at all? Deion wants the basement when he goes somewhere. Because if he goes to Alabama and replaces Nick Saban, is that a harder job than going to Colorado? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Is going to a basement, bottom feeding, don't have a quarterback, don't have a lot of talent, Florida State. Is that a more difficult job than pick any other university you want who's going to fire their coach? Yeah, it is.
Florida.
Well, what are you thinking in Gainesville? Is it a more difficult job to go to Florida State where you don't have talent? Arguably, they're going to be, there's no other way to say it. Florida State's in a really bad spot talent-wise.
Yeah.
And if Norvell stays there, they're going to have trouble upgrading that roster. Just no doubt about it. If you look at Baylor, let's say Baylor fires Dave Aranda, which apparently they're never going to do.
Never.
If they whack 8 ball,
Mr. Clean.
that's not a difficult job to go and rebuild, in my opinion, if you have any kind of recruiting prowess. But if you think about any of the top programs in this country, let's say Ohio State whacks Chip Kelly or Ryan Day or
Sharon Moore
at Michigan gets fired. Do you know how difficult that job is? Florida State's not a tough rebuild. Blue blood football program, really beautiful part of the country. Deion's an alumni there. Can you imagine Deion Sanders walking into any household in Wade County, Florida? It's Dade County. I say Wade County, LeBron. The
right,
alley-oop,
LeBron, Wade, the alley-oop.
the statue that doesn't look like Dwayne. Anyway, the point is, if Deion Sanders, yes, I'm an asshole. I totally get it.
Stay hard.
If Deion Sanders walks into any house in any Southern Florida county, that kid's going to Florida State. If you're Mario Cristobal at Miami and Deion takes the Florida State job, are you happy about that? Absolutely not, because you just lost recruits. You just lost recruits. Imagine winning a national championship with Prime as your head coach at Florida State.
Don't you know who I am?
Come on. I'll do the chop with you.
Yeah.
Because it's happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think if Deion wants to go to Florida State, that's going to happen. I think it is. All right. Before I get to your comment sections, I want to update the Advocates donations because Jake has been sending me screenshots. Hit them on Venmo. 1 in 6 kids in this country are hungry, and I'm going to continue to beat the drum. I am going to continue to beat the drum. 1 in 6 kids in this country are hungry, and that's absolutely unacceptable. With our wealth and our riches, and I am not rich, I am not wealthy. Am I in the 1% globally? Absolutely. It's why I believe so passionately. And if you watch this show, you know, we've done everything from school supplies, Halloween costumes, Sub for Santa's coming as we did last year. Do you guys understand during the Sub for Santa cycle last year, we raised $10,000 on this show for kids who didn't have Christmas.
Yeah.
We can do this. I am asking you today, help us raise another $1,000. If you donated last week, please consider donating again. And if you don't have it, I totally get it. I'm not judging you. And I appreciate everybody who watches this show. Everything we do today and Fridays until Thanksgiving is about feeding those 1 in 6 kids that are hungry, because it's your neighbor, it's your friends, it is the kids your kids go to school with, it is those kids in your Boy Scout and Girl Scout troop, it is the kids on your football team, your basketball team, your soccer club. 1 in 6 kids are hungry. Every baseball team has multiple kids who don't know where their food's coming from. Every football team has at least 5 kids who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Those are the percentages we're talking about. Last year at this time, it was 1 in 10. This year, it's 1 in 6. We're going in the wrong direction. We can make a difference today. Donate right now. Advocates donations on Venmo. Advocates donations. Take a screenshot of your Venmo when you send it. Send that Venmo screenshot to Jake on Instagram. SLC Jake. SLC Jake with an underscore at the end. We're going to give away a $50 Amazon gift card 1 hour from now. Maury Alvarez, I think, currently has the lead, only because, and I know that we do this regularly, but I feel like I have to remind you, the memo section is critically important on Venmo. If you put Monty Thanksgiving Kids in there, you're going to get a leg up. If you put Monty Kids, you're going to get a leg up. Maury, all I can say is TDS, that'd be that team down south, BYU, is going up to rip off Team Up North's Utah head, and we're going to use Swoop, the Utah mascot, who's a bird, as a Thanksgiving turkey.
There you go.
He gave 25 and 5 more.
Yes.
Which is
30
amazing.
doll hairs.
Which is amazing. Now we get Isaac Wilson is going to smash Cougar tails all over SLC tomorrow night. Go Utes and shout out the Marty program.
Dude sent me this message and said, my YouTube name is usually the Buffalo Hunter, but I'm currently BYU Hate Week.
Oh, wow. That's who BYU Hate Week is.
Hey, you start talking shit.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Also, I want to remember James, because who's got the lead right now? Isaac Wilson taking over for his brother and banging his mom's friends probably has the lead right now.
Wow.
What? What? That's what it's a reference to.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? The Buffalo Hunter in here talking about cougar tail?
Yeah.
Dude, real quick, can we talk about donuts while I put this latest one up here?
Oh, I love donuts.
So do I, but I read a study yesterday.
Let me guess. They raise your blood sugar and you're going to die sooner if you eat donuts.
Donuts are horrendously bad for you. Terrible for you. $25. CP did not graduate from Florida State and often doesn't speak of them in a positive way. Coach Prime, I think is what you mean. And often doesn't speak about them in a positive way. Never say never, but he ain't going to Florida State. Old Tatanka.
Phil Stahl.
Oh, Phil Stahl. Way to go, Phil. I appreciate that. $25 there, $20 there, $25 there.
Yeah.
5 and 25 is 30. Do the math. So we're at $30. $25 is $55. $20 more dollars is $75. And then $25, we're at an even $25 or at an even $100 after those donations. I think the Buffalo Hunter's in the lead.
Yeah.
Isaac Wilson and Cougar Tails.
Well done.
Let's go. Hook it up. Hit Jake on Venmo. SLC Jake _ after you donate. 1 hour from now, a $50 Amazon gift card goes to you if you are notated as the winner. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show on a Football Friday, as always, presented by our friends at Prize Picks. Okay. America's favorite daily fantasy app. It's not my job to win. I mean, Prize Picks has to make their money too, right? And last night on the old Marty program, they certainly made that bread. Because I got to tell you that the win streak has come to an end. Thank you, Anthony Edwards, who scored 47 points, rebounds, and assists last night, tearing up the beloved Chicago Bulls. I say Chicago Bulls and you stop. But Derrick Henry, okay. Can we talk about Derrick Henry real quick? You guys know you know who Derrick Henry is, right?
Do you even live?
You guys know who Derrick Henry is, right?
Bro.
Hey, I'm just curious. Who needs some ham for Thanksgiving dinner?
Ye of huge ass.
Anybody
Derrick
feel
Henry?
like some peaches this morning?
Bro, like what are we doing here, man? Like, why are we trying to tackle dude by his pants, man?
Hot ass.
Like, come on, bro.
I got to tell you, I'm jealous.
Dude.
Your boy needs to get in the weight room because I need some hams like that. Okay, let's move on because that's awkward. He only got me 1 touchdown. He needed 2. So speaking of 2, how about a couple of nope.
Google me.
I'm going to hell. Thankfully, hell's not real. Zay Flowers, you're a punk. I needed 62 receiving yards out of Zay. He got me 34. The win streak's over.
Yeah, I needed less than 267.5 for Burrow. He had like 5,000 yards last night.
Yeah, it's not good. And I would tell you this weekend, though, we're the redemption train is leaving the station.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you this weekend, there's a lot of really good plays this weekend. I think there is almost no doubt Shedeur Sanders, 328 yards passing. Don't you have to go over that against Tech? Right? Travis Hunter, 102 yards receiving. More. Right? I think you absolutely, there's some real value. Jackson Dart, under 272.5 passing yards. Have to. Right? Come on. Who are we even kidding here? And then if we go rushing receiving touchdowns, And I almost the big game tonight, Cal and Wake Forest.
Wow, man.
The big
Wow.
the ACC tilt.
Oh man, I just can't even
Stay hard.
Can't even wait.
No, I'm fine. I think we can kind of check that one off the list. But I will say that there are some really good Quinshawn Judkins for half a touchdown against Perdone. I think you got to take that.
Perdone.
For sure. What? That's who they are. But Prize Picks, download the app, use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more at Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy app. Travis Hunter has no competition. He's on his own level. Dude, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous how good Travis Hunter is. It is wild to me. Marty sharing food with the kids. Michael Jordan says, help the kids. Push the pay button, RJC. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Eric in Durham
with a huge blast. My guy, Eric in Raleigh, long-time listener.
First time caller.
He goes all the way back to the KMBR days.
The
over 10 years.
Sports leader.
Appreciate you for $20 right there.
Yeah, nice job, dude.